Hi everyone. Thanks for the phone call here, guys. The internet's busiest music nerd. And it's time for a list, because it's still list week. List my top 15 EPs of 2016. Yes, my favorite EP releases, not quite singles because they're too long, not quite albums because they're too short. Those weird in-between releases that a lot of people don't really even pay attention to. Here are 15 of them that I think were actually worth some attention this year. At number 15, we have another piece of forward-thinking, futuristic, off-the-wall pop production from my dude, Clarence Clarity. I really hope I hear a new album from him next year. Really enjoyed the song on this EP titled Same, as well as all the other tracks on this EP titled Same, which I'm pretty sure were all the same. At number 14, we have Tony Molina with Confront the Truth, who came through with sort of an acoustic, sort of a softer approach on this new project over here. Not quite sure it totally fit his short songwriting style, but he did come through with some interesting material here regardless. At 13, it's some fast-paced, in-your-face punk rock with a bit of a vintage edge there from Turnstile, Move Through Me. And at number 12, Sleaford mods do what they do as well as they typically do it on the T.C.R. EP, if you're looking for some very wordy, verbose, post-punk with some great vocal performances, very energetic, then give this thing a listen. At number 11, it's G.L.O.S.S with Trans Day of Revenge, the group's most hard-hitting release yet, though unfortunately I guess they disbanded this year. I don't think we're going to be hearing any more of G.L.O.S.'s music into the future, sadly, but you know, for the moment that they were around, they put together some really hardcore, amazingly heavy, punishing punk music, and the fact that their songs were centered around trans issues only made them even more interesting. At number 10, we have one of the most interesting bands in underground progressive metal, Krallice, coming through with the Hyperion EP. Definitely a nice, direct, and hard-hitting change of pace from the kind of obtuse album they had dropped not too long ago. And at number 9, Mr. Yote's EP, one of a couple he dropped this year. This one, the Terrible Tales of Scary Jones. This guy is a total character, and particularly so on this EP, where he raps from the standpoint of some kind of pirate who comes from this odd, surreal land with some usual pirate tropes, you know, like the briny deep and, you know, walking the plank, that sort of thing. But it's like totally cuckoo. It's a fun EP. Give it a shot. Moving on from there, number 8. It's Chelsea Wolfe with the Hypnos Flame two tracks EP. Single sort of thing, though not quite a single. Shout out to Chelsea Wolfe. Keep making that dark, brooding, atmospheric, tortured music I enjoy so much. At number 7, it's Death Grips with their Interview 2016 EP. Yeah, like some weird instrumentals, a lot of people have kind of written it off, but, you know, as far as EP releases this year go, it's not bad, and, you know, it's cool that Death Grips hit us with so much material worth talking about this year. At number 6, Iglooghost graced us with a little more material. I can't wait for him to drop a new album because his production style is so dense, so intricate, so colorful, so amazing, so off the wall. In a lot of ways, I think he is ahead of the curve of what a lot of electronic music producers are doing these days, and I love how he mixes together so many different styles of electronic dance music and wonky, and obviously there's some hip-hop inspiration there and some elements that are just uniquely Iglooghost, and I love that Brain Feeder has given him a nod as well. But anyway, can't wait for that album again, and the couple of fresh tracks from this Little Grids EP are a few of my favorites from this year. At number 5, I have to give it to Clipping with their Wriggle EP, the raw, dirty, filthy, and somewhat lo-fi set of tracks that they put out not too long before their Splendor and Misery album, which they dropped this year. Nice that they sort of gave us two different sides of the Clipping project in 2016. This weird conceptual space odyssey about this future slave stuck on a cargo ship, and then you have this nasty, dirty, noise rap, kinky, sex, filthy, raunchy, dirty, listen to it. At number 4, we have Gorguts with Pleiades Dust, this long, conceptual, seamless piece of technical death metal. Is one of the most massive and soul-crushing, but also exhilarating pieces of metal music I've heard this year. Then it's Carly Rae Jepsen with the Emotion Side B tracks. These are basically leftovers from her recent album Emotion, but they were treated with no less care. They have great punchy beats, soaring hooks, sweet, innocent lyrics, and some peppy, catchy, sharp earworm melodies. Definitely one of my pop highlights of this year, but at number 2, I was really happy to hear Massive Attack come back with a great set of tracks on this Ritual Spirit EP. After hearing these, I can only hope they come through in 2017 with a great album. I was also really happy to hear them working with Young Fathers on this project too. Basically, Massive Attack just makes the case for themselves in this decade. Not that we need them to make the case for themselves, but you know, there are a lot of groups whose heydays in the 80s and 90s aren't really making great music today. Massive Attack has sort of, with this EP, in my opinion, sort of thrown that assumption, thrown that stereotype to the curb, and has said, we can still be contemporary, we can still be cutting edge, we can still be doing something interesting, we can still be writing compelling music after all these years, so please keep an eye out for us. And finally, at number 1, one of my favorite, one of the most colorful, one of the most odd, and one of the most unexpected EPs I had heard this year has to be, at my number 1 spot, it is Charli XCX with Vroom Vroom. Up until this point, I have by no means been a Charli XCX fan, let me just put that out there, but she joined up with the good people over at PC Music for the production on this new EP, and the way that they came together on here, absolutely immaculate. Some of the weirdest and most bubbly and just strangest pop music I've heard this year. The beats are hard-hitting and colorful and just really kooky, and Charli's swagger and charisma on these tracks only enhances the beats further. Though I was kind of disappointed with the fact that Charli XCX seemed to go back to what she usually does with like one of her latest singles, After the After Party, featuring Lil Yachty. I guess I can always come back to this EP and just hold on to a little bit of hope that maybe there's an album in the works where she's doing something like this for the duration of an entire LP, or as she comes out with albums into the future, she is kind of keeping an ear out for something that is a little experimental, a little left field, that she's actually using her position to sort of challenge the norms of pop rather than just simply embrace them. And that's of course what this EP does so well. And you know, it's not just about being the odd woman out on this project. You know, there are great grooves on this thing. There are really funny tongue-in-cheek lyrics and hooks. This thing has a lot of personality. It's got a lot of oomph. It's got a lot of chutzpah. It's bold. And that is why it's my EP of the year. So there you go. Those are my top 15 EPs of 2016. Transition. Have you given these EPs a listen? Did you love them? Did you hate them? Did they end up on your favorite EPs of the year list? What were some of your favorite EPs of the year? Hit me with them down in the comments. Also, various videos next to my head. Subscribe to the channel. Official website as well. Enjoy the rest of List Week, everybody. Forever.